All right, click the links to join the channel here over at Subscribe Start Now over at Odyssey. Thanks to 3 people who signed up over there. Very cool. So Doctor Who, but without any English people, bombs with an audience, and the woke SJWs, of course, are triggered and butthurt, except when you look at them and go, hey, so are you watching the show? And like, I'm really, really busy. I'm not actually able to. So that movie that came out, the woke chick, feminist, whatever kind of diverse cancer, did you watch that? And like, I just didn't. I was really tied up that weekend. You know, it's been playing out for a month. You can go, what was the latest thing that came out? The Marvels with the Brie Larson. It was like Captain Marvel Part 2, which I thought would do way better than it did. It bombed. So you talk to all these feminists on Twitter, like, so how come you didn't support that movie? Like, oh, I don't really like action adventure movies. Oh, well, then why'd they make this chick flick feminist nonsense, diversity garbage propaganda if the audience doesn't exist? That's a good question. So I thought that said Mel Gibson for a minute. That would have been cool. It would have been way better than what it was. Oh, and if you're an SJW, don't watch the video. I'm just going to be upfront about that, because then you'll leave some bizarre, long, passive-aggressive message about how some African is actually Scottish or something insane, where we're just not going to have to keep playing pretend in your imagination land. Then the passive aggressiveness of the SJW comments in the comment section. Wow, what? And the thing is, it's annoying. I'll be honest, because I can't say what I need to say, on YouTube, because they'll filter out my message. They won't just won't allow me to say what I need to say. So it is annoying. So I'm just telling you, just dip on out now. Save us both the hassle. So Doctor Who. Oh, oi, crikey, this isn't Doctor Who. Blimey, this is some other bloke, some Doctor Diversity hire. Doctor, not going to watch this show because I want to see English people in an English show. Is that too much to ask? Istaphobe says, what? Dear SJWs. Well, now they tuned out. But if you're talking to SJW about this or whatever, you go, hey, let's have this conversation. Can you refrain from ad hominems? And they look at you and go, that's a bridge too far. I just don't know how to do that. I was taught what to think, and when somebody disagrees with me, to call them istaphobic and suck my thumb and start crying, and it's like, yeah, I get it. Okay, let's just like in court, when you concede some things, you agree on some things to make the process faster. Let's just concede that you've said istaphobic a million times. It's like after every question you raise an objection. Fair enough, and let's just move on so we can make it flow a little bit smoother. Yes, I understand. You've had your personal attacks, touching grass and all that kind of stuff. So then now we can have a conversation. The SJW is like, well, that's really all I have to say. Because I can't say why the show is good, because it's not. All it is diverse propaganda. Anyway, so when you think of Doctor Who, you think of some Englishman and some hot red-haired or blonde-haired chick, which is an essential sidekick. The red-haired chick was like 20 years ago, 15 years ago, the Irish girl, I think. And then the blonde one came after her. I remember there was like 2 hot blondes and then that cute red-haired girl. So let's get to the important features, milker nationalism. Does every single thing have to be woke, race swap, cancer? Can the Europeans have one show for ourselves? Just can we have everything else? Everything else, I get it. You're doing all this kind of nonsense. But can we have a few shows? Istaphobe says what? Yeah, I get that all the time. So does woke? And the thing is, calling people all those kind of hot words, that is losing a lot of its power. The left wing really kind of overplayed their hand with that. So does wokeness have to ruin everything? We're not globalists. We're nationalists. We believe that diversity, wokeness, and feminism, that's cancer. Those are all negative things, that they're actually harmful to society. Literally everything out of Hollywood or its spiritual kin is woke, race-swapped, agenda-pushing, bullshit monkeypox. The thing is, you have to be blunt with these Hollywood parasites and their useful idiots, the Twitter kids online, and you just got to get on social media and tell them how much you hate these kind of diverse shows that are just pushing propaganda. The message, yeah, we get it, but the message is coming from people who fly to Epstein's Island to abuse kids. It's like, hey, Hollywood, you really don't have the moral high ground here. The thing is, they don't want you to do that, to get on social media and express yourself and just crap all over this garbage, because it sends the message message to other people that they can also reject this new world order of media propaganda where it's just full mask off. That you can get out there, you can speak your mind. Though now apparently networks are making their employees go to the comment section and fight people who rip on their crappy propaganda. And, you're thinking, hey, you guys, you have the option of not making crap. And they don't even consider it because to them, lectures on pronouns about a male presenting Time Lord are important. Nobody cares about this fictional imagination land where you literally don't know what a woman is, but you know what a male presenting person is. Is gender a social construct or not? Your argument can't be that men typically wear these clothing. If you can't tell me what a man is, it's a circular argument. It's nonsensical. And this thing is, it all disappears once people decide not to play their games anymore. Nobody gives a shit about pronouns. If you were born a male, then you're a male forever. You'll always be a man. All this genders derived from sex. There's only two genders because there's only two intersex rights now. What? I mean, you're still one sex and the other. It is a hard binary. And it's funny when they talk about this, they have these women's magazines and they explain the science of the whole BLT stuff. And the three people they have in this article I read was, oh, great, you're going to have some geneticists or some, I don't know, biologists, PhDs, and doing physical anthropologists, Robert Seffert, something in the harder sciences, talking about structural differences, anatomy, and the genetics or something. It's like, no, we got three PhDs. Yeah, they got PhDs. Oh, what are they in? Feminist theory. And it was three PhDs and just nonsense. Like, well, how come you don't have any MDs in there, or anthropologists, or biologists, or because they might say something. You got a degree. You got one woman has a PhD in feminism. The other's got like women's studies, and the other's in just something completely just like psychology or something human sexuality or something nonsense. So like those aren't sciences. Those aren't hard sciences. Yeah, but they say what we want them to say. Well, the whole thing is obviously it's nonsense. I have that article archived. It's bizarre. Like you look at them and go, that's the best foot you can put forward, isn't it? And go, just don't be mean to us. So the thing is, you got to stop playing their kind of games. You'll always be a man if you were born a man. That's just the reality. It's like just be what you are. Putting lipstick on me doesn't make me a woman. It would just make me a clown. Except these Hollywood degenerates think that they need to take all this nonsense seriously and lecture the audience on this fad. That's what it is. It's all just a fad. And 20 years from now, you're really going to regret. You're like, how come nobody stopped us? Oh, we tried, but you called us Nazis. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, I'm sorry you had body parts removed. It's like the show is written by teenagers with PMS. Oh, the thing is, they don't want you crapping all over their cancer online, which means it is your moral duty to lampoon this propaganda. Don't give these commies any slack. You got to point out that they're making shows with diverse themes that people just don't want to see. So other people can finally understand that this industry is run by lizard people who are intent on destroying the world one crappy show at a time. They take everything you enjoyed and transform it into a globalist message, and if you don't accept it, then yikes, my guy, just yikes. That's like totally problematic or something. Bad take, friendo. Be better. I'm waiting for Goonies and Gremlins to be remade. Anything you mildly enjoyed, they're just going to take and like, oh, how do we F this in the A to death? It's like E.T. is probably going to be up there, and Poltergeist and all that 80s stuff. Like I know that was crap, but it was fun crap. All the stuff from about 75 to 1990. There was a period where they were making blockbusters. I mean, huge movies like Goonies type of movies. It seemed like every couple of months in about a 10-15 year period, they had these huge monster hits. Guys, it's okay to reject globalist propaganda. Just be blunt online as if you don't understand the nuance of their argument. just say you prefer to see your tribe on screen and stick true to it. Just say, I've got the past couple of years, all this BLM stuff is giving me really strong in-group preferences. The point, like, I've got PTSD from woke Mary Sue's Pox Walks, Furry Otherkins in shows. I just really want to see my tribe up on screen. The past couple of years, I've just really got these in-group preferences. Much like all other groups on Earth have. You got to just say this stuff with a straight face. Mastering the straight face and not letting your voice give it away is, it's so much fun when you can do it to somebody in person. Like you're talking to a left-wing chick at a party or something, and the thing is, it helps if you're a good-looking guy because they still want to bang you, but they're hearing it and they're just like, is this guy effing with me? And then later on they go, oh, you were effing with me the whole time. I thought you were slow. Anyway, so it's okay to reject all this kind of stuff. Just tell people. Hey, Victoria, what's that Victoria's Secrets thing? They got like fat chicks and dudes or something, and like, yeah, I just want to see the old Victoria. I want to see like the hot chicks again. Can you bring that back? Anyway, you've got your preferences, like wanting to see women dressed like women, not men dressed like women babbling about pronouns or something equally stupid. By all means, take a half hour to talk about an alien's pronouns. Nobody gives a shit. You just use male pronouns when you're in doubt. You don't let them keep pushing the window. Just keep pointing out how stupid all this stuff is. And it really is. I feel bad for these people who are victims of these fomenters of discord, these people behind the curtains who are Machiavellian machinators, all these kind of just the evil, just the worst people on earth. Indeed, even if it's fair to call them people, I'm not even sure about that. There might be some argument about it from the religious aspect of it. So you think these Hollywood types are in an echo chamber, but then you see something like Doctor Who. So in the interview they're unsure how many episodes that they're going to do of this because, of course, nobody is watching Dr. Woke. But call me crazy, if you used actual English, Scottish, or Irish people, or people from Wales, what are those, Welsh or something? I suspect that people would watch the show because they want to see something that feels, like the show's supposed to be. Doctor Who only feels English if there are real European people in it, because humans aren't fungible. If you take an English show and you swap out the English for foreigners, then it's obviously going to be crap. It would be a parody of what the show used to be, and it wasn't that long ago that would be a parody. It would just be a little bit of a joke. But if you ask a soy boy, they would claim the show is even better without the English people. And you explain that you want to see the show as originally intended. If you took one of those Japanese game shows, gosh, those are amazing, or a Nigerian show and you replace the people with foreigners, the show wouldn't be what you signed up for. It would be the Hollywood bait and switch, which is what these bullshies are doing. If you removed all the Japanese from a show and replace them with Germans, then you call the Japanese racist for not understanding what is going on. How well does that do for actually, the Japanese would probably be on board with that because they're into a lot of crazy stuff. So they're mostly Japanese, though. They want to see Japanese shows, not Africans or Swedish, not if that's, if that's not what they signed up for. But to the brainwashed liberals, they claim to believe that all humans on Earth are precisely equal, that they can be perfectly swapped out. Except they don't really believe this, because if they did, then they wouldn't have to race swap anyone in the first place. It turns out that everything they say is a lie, but it's not the useful idiot's fault. They're just brainwashed to repeat nonsense without thinking about it, because they're controlled via programming to respond with fear when another soy boy calls them istophobic. They're so conditioned that they don't even have the discussion of why that's a negative, or what it means, or that the person is using these words to control people. It's like you're in a cult of Scientology or something, which is why it's better to pretend. Scientologists there's a whole study of how they use language. It's kind of interesting, which is why it's better to pretend not to understand why they're spurging out and getting so triggered when you say that you want to support shows that uplift your people. Plus, it's insanely fun to trigger them on Twitter. You start mentioning diversity of thought, and it makes them lose their mind. They're, oh yeah, diversity of thought is great, just not hate speech or not istophobic thoughts. And you're like, wait a minute, but who decides what is what, and why do you get to label us and censor us? Oh, yeah, they never really have answers to any of this kind of thing. We don't need a Nina Jankowicz to get between us. Anyway. Like, comment, subscribe. If you're SJW, just go ahead and refrain from leaving that long, passive-aggressive yikes, my guy. finger a vagina or touch grass or get outside. And the people, the SJWs who are saying this, you look at them, you're like, you're 300 pounds, dude. I walk every night. Hills. And some 300-pound video game Mountain Dew drinking purple-haired soy boy who pays for sex is telling me to touch grass or something. It's bizarre. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. Join the Subscribe Star of the Odyssey for the other videos that are actually politically incorrect. And I'll see you guys all next episode.